Hey guys, since I put out the video about the 5 worst items in the game, I figured I'd put out a video about the 5 best items in the game. This list is a lot more straightforward because the 5 best items are really like almost like the 5 most expensive items. It's not quite 1-to-1, but it's, in my opinion, pretty close. So we'll come down here and we'll scroll to the bottom because that's where all the most expensive items are. And we'll start off with the one that's, I think, not debatable, and that's the Infernal Pitchfork. The Infernal Pitchfork gives you +3 crops on all your crops, as well as rice and olives in the greenhouse. It's just a tremendous item. The default amount of crops you get is 1, so this triples the default amount, or quadruples, I guess, because it goes from 1 to 4. It's just such a powerful item. There's only 20 of them because it's so powerful. If you can get your hands on this, it's probably a good idea. It's, like I said, in my opinion, the best item in the game. After the Infernal Pitchfork, there's probably some debate. Next up, I think I'm going to go with Golden Cow, just because of how much this is going to save you. Cows are extremely expensive to feed, and milk is obviously very useful for leveling up. It's used in the best foods in like almost every building, and it's going to just save you so many crops every day. Plus, there's a quality of life involved with it because when you feed animals, it's a lot of clicks, especially with cows. But if you have the golden cow or any of the golden animals, you only use 1 click to level it up. So it's also a quality of life item as well as just a super powerful item. So this is my number 2. Thirdly, once again, now it starts getting more debatable and harder to decide. I'm going to go with probably the wings. Devil wings and angel wings are like the same item. Only one of them works. Like if you have one, the other one doesn't work. And it gives your crops a 30% chance of instantly regrowing. The reason why these are so good is because it stacks with all of your other boosts. So if you have reduced time, if you get your crops down to like 50% grow time, that means you're just planting more crops and more chances of getting instant crops. Plus, if you have things like Infernal Pitchfork or other crop boosts, it just means you're getting more crops out. Let's say you have 50% time reduction, and then you have another like 30% on top of that. That only reduces it from the 50%. Whereas the Devil Wings just stacks multiplicatively with all these. Like they just get infinitely better the more other boosts you have. And it also works on greenhouse crops. It's such a strong boost. Next up, we have, in my opinion, Foreman Beaver. Foreman Beaver might not be amazing right now because of how cheap coins are, but Foreman Beaver is going to save you a ton of coins every day. Plus, it's going to give you the increased wood and reduced tree time, although you can get those from Apprentice Beaver. If you do the math on how many coins Foreman Beaver is saving you a day, it's like thousands. It's like 7,000 or something like that. And that doesn't sound like a lot because of how cheap coins are, but the default value of coins is 320 to 1 flower, so that's saving you a ton of flour every day. And in a vacuum, if you don't count Apprentice Beaver, these are such strong boosts, although like I said, you could just get Apprentice Beaver and then all this is really doing you is chopping trees without axes, but in a vacuum, Foreman Beaver is such a strong boost that it has to be on my list. And finally, for number 5, this one was kind of debatable for me. It was in between Luna's Hat, Infernal Drill, and Grinx's Hammer. The reason why I'm not choosing Infernal Drill is because, in my opinion, it gets infinitely better with Dev Wrench. And so if you're just looking for an item that stands on its own, Infernal Drill isn't that good. Like, it's obviously very good, but it gets twice as good if you have Dev Wrench. And then Luna's Hat, the reason why I'm not going to choose Luna's Hat is because if you just weren't a whale and someone just gifted you an item, Luna's Hat is almost like cumbersome, because it's just going to mean you have to cook twice as much. And if you don't have like a ton of resources, then this is kind of a burden, but it's obviously a very strong boost. And everyone who's going to be able to afford this item is going to want Luna's Hat. But I'm actually going to go with Grinx's Hammer for number 5. And the reason why I'm going to go with Grinx's Hammer is because there are certain items like oil in desert and obsidian in Volcano Island where you just can't trade for it. So Grinx's Hammer is going to save you those resources, and it's going to make you go through the expansions way quicker. I'm sure that they're going to add more expansions in the future. They're already talking about Swamp Island, and there have been talks about others after that. The one downside of Grinx's Hammer is that once you're fully expanded, it just kind of sits there doing nothing. But when it is being used, it's an extremely strong boost. It halves the expansion costs. I believe it halves the expansion times as well. So it's just a very strong boost to have, and it'll make you get to the end of your whichever island you're expanding through way quicker. And then, as an honorable mention, I'm going to mention the Christmas tree. This is an extremely strong boost historically. You get a free gift every Christmas. So I think first Christmas was the Angel and Devil Wings, and then it was the Grinx's Hammer, and then it was the Golden Cow. So all very strong boosts, but the problem with the Christmas tree is who knows what it's going to be next year, right? In theory, it's going to be another very strong boost, but it just might not be. So we don't actually, so I don't want to put this in my top 5 just because it's all dependent on what the devs come up with. For all we know, it's going to be a terrible boost. Like, it probably won't be, but there's a chance it could be because we don't know what it's going to be. Whereas all the other items in the list, we know exactly what they do and we know the benefits currently, and like that probably won't change ever. So whereas Christmas tree, like, who knows? Next year the item could be terrible. Like I said, it probably won't be, but we actually don't know what it's going to give you. So it's my honorable mention. It's arguably the best item in the game, but it's arguably not because we just don't know what it does every year. Yeah, that's basically my list. This is just more for fun because all these items are incredibly strong. Digging for free, fishing for free, mining stone for free. All these items down here are all quite strong. But that was my top 5 list. I'm sure other people would have different items in their top 5. Flower Crown is incredibly strong. There's a lot of items here that are incredibly good. Kubiku could be included. Pan can be included. Turbo Sprout can be included. Like, it's all for debate. I thought I'd just put out a fun video. Since I did the 5 worst items, I figured I'd do the 5 best items. So that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have a good day. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. It would help me out a lot. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Have a good day, guys. And I also want to say thank you to all the members of the channel. The current members of the channel are Raichu, Thedra, and Deucefold. Thank you very much for your support.